Chandler-Ullmann has one of the most colorful histories that anyone would want to know about on campus.
It was a modern chemistry building because in 1889 there were not too many specific or specialized buildings for the teaching of chemistry.
It was the chemistry laboratory up until the 1970s when they built the present CVG mud lab.
There's a historic plaque in the lobby that I helped the American Chemical Society place in 1994 that acknowledges the uniqueness of Chandler-Ullmann.
This building was selected as a National Historic Landmark. There's only around 50 historic chemical structures in the United States, and this was the second one chosen.
Chandler-Ullmann is never going to blow away in the wind. It is built like a fortress because it was a chemistry building. It has layers of sand between the floors, and that was a fire precaution.
An amazing fire extinguishing system that was based on falling sand, an incredible air exhaust system that predates electricity. Those fire extinguishers, if you want to call it that, never really put out fire. They just made life hell for the people below.
There are actually built-in showers outside the chemistry labs.
And so we certainly didn't have electric motors to suck bad air out of the labs. But Chandler designed a system to use the natural air currents up and down South Mountain to create a Venturi effect and suck the air out of the labs. And to make that work, all the chimneys you see on Chandler-Ullmann today had a gradated heat zone from the bottom to the top. He designed a really large dumbwaiter that instead of an elevator, because we didn't have any motors. This is a rope-pulled, self-powered elevator, and it's built into the wall of the building, surrounded on all sides, and it covers all 4 floors of the building.
It was just such a large building, and it was so roomy compared to, as you can see how cramped this lab is. Well, figure a lab that's 10 times, 20 times as big, with only 9 students. That's all we had in our class, 9 chem majors. Lots of room to work.
There's a switch. But no light, no power down here. That was the stock room.
Enormous differences. I could hardly enumerate the differences between when I retired, because for one thing, the programs change and expand.
In trying to have it be so cosmetically beautiful, Chandler arranged for the steam, the gas lines, and the compressed air. The utilities ran within carved stone channels in the stone of the building. They were at least 6 inches from the interior wall of the building and almost a foot from the exterior wall. Nice, hidden away. But what happens if a steam line starts to leak? What happens if the hot water line starts to leak? You can't get in there to repair it. And even more amazingly, they didn't anticipate electricity. So when electricity comes along, they now figure they can't chisel into those beautiful stone channels and add electric wires everywhere. They have to put the electric wires on the outside. So when you walk through Chandler-Ullmann today, you will see one heck of a lot of wires on the walls, and they are the telephone wire and the electrical wiring. Do you know that it did win a design prize at the Paris World's Fair in 1889 for the best designed science building in the world, amongst the many competitions? An architectural contest for the best designed science building in the world. And Harvard entered it, Kent State entered it. There were a number of major places that entered it. And we won hands down. There's mosaic tile on the main lobby entrance floor, and that's original to the building. The chairman's offices and the original classroom, which used to be number 220, sloping seats, sliding blackboards on the front, that still exists.
Because it's an original building on campus, and it's built to the format of all the rest of the building. Sandstone, large stairways. It just had, as I said before, it had such character.
But until 1976, when the present chemistry building was built at Lehigh, why, it was chemistry, but then the theater department, the psychology department, and the fine arts department, which is now art, architecture, and design, moved into that building.
It isn't serviceable as a laboratory anymore.
My favorite thing about Chandler-Ullmann, as I recall, was the lecture hall, where lecture for freshman chemistry and sophomore organic chemistry was. It was huge, it was open, and Dr. Amstutz at the time, the chairman of the department, gave unbelievable demonstrations down on the lecture bench, and I remember them like it was yesterday.
My favorite thing about Chandler-Ullmann is all the unique features that Chandler designed into the building.
I never thought of it in terms of favorite things, but it did provide the necessary facilities that we needed. Well, Bronzy likes to go in with me some days when I print, because he enjoys going anywhere with me. And if that's going into Chandler-Ullmann, he's all ready to go.